Hey there folks, rinimt here and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood. In the last part we wrapped up the 4 lords and now it is time for the path of most resistance. Greetings and salutations, Arya. I suppose you are wondering whether or not the good Genomus has finally determined where in the world our next adventure is to take us. Good news is he has. The bad news, however... Now, while it's not in my nature to be sensationalist, sensationalism is in my job description, so please bear with me when I tell you not all is right aboard the airship Lexingtail. Something about Alma has me deeply worried. I would not trust this information in the hands of my publisher, let alone some sullen gate guard. Shall we continue our conversation on the Prima Vista away from inquisitive ears? Question is, then, where exactly did Roms and his fellow journey next? Fellowship. Arya, to what do we owe this unexpected visit? I'm not planning to unsummon you for another several turns of the sun. I apologize if we have caused you any worry. Suppose one cannot allow a reporter in their midst and not expect her to report what she sees. But I did expect a tad more discretion from Miss Murla. Alma has, as of late, been experiencing difficulties with her health. Chirurgeons have been called upon to discern what exactly it is that ails her. As far as they can tell, there is nothing physically wrong with my sister. The consensus is the rigors of an extended stay in a foreign land have taken their toll on her fragile heart. Arya, when did you... Alma! I'm fine, brother. It's obvious you are not. You must return to your chambers and rest. Forgive me. Perhaps we shall speak again once I regain my strength. Until then, please, look after my father. Now then, where were we? Ah, yes, the matter of our next expedition. As we discovered during our most recent foray into the Esther Sands, the Damascus capital of Ravenastra appears to lie upon the ruins of what can only be the royal city of Lasalia, ancient capital of the lost kingdom of Ivalice. Shortly after, we stumbled across remnants of the legendary clockwork city of Gaug, cleverly repurposed into a lighthouse overlooking the Rina cataract. Remnants which now sit suspended above the fathomless chasm. Lasalia, Gaug, what have they in common, you ask? I shall tell you. They both appear in my ancestors' account of the rise of Ivalice, the Durai papers. And with each new discovery, the Forbidden Chronicle is now proving Ivalician legend to be more fact than fairy tale. There's no denying the proof. It is but a matter of time before scholars and historians from across the realm come to the same conclusions. But as you all are aware, my aim has never been to simply prove the existence of Ivalice. No, I shall not rest until I've revealed the truth of young Ramses' role in King Delia's ascension, and cleared my ancestor Oran Durai of the false accusations made against him by the church. Then, what are we waiting for? I have a possible destination in mind. Arriving there safely, however, is another matter. To that end, I've enlisted the aid of our company's newest members. Despite my pleas to do otherwise, who knows what trouble those two will see us into. I must admit, both Mont Blanc and his brother have proven more than useful than I would ever have dared to imagine. When it comes to usefulness, I'm first in the field! Or was it furious in the field? Would you like for my fur, Kupo? And you wonder why Ramza despises you so, brother. They do all the work, and all you do is just Kupo! But you were mistaken, Hurdy. I bear neither you nor your brother any ill will. Any further ill, that is. If anything, I owe you my thanks for your recent contributions. His thanks? Are you hearing what I'm hearing? What happened to the venom-spitting adder we all used to know and hate? Alma certainly seems pleased with the change, but forgive me for not buying into his all-too-convenient transformation. Simply showing the world that Ivalice actually existed will not validate the claims chronicled in the Durai papers. That's correct, Father. The key lies with Ramza Beov. If we can find evidence of his hidden role in history, it will prove Auron's testimony true and safeguard our family name from ridicule. Which is why I turned the focus of my research to Deleda's forgotten companion and his actions during the War of the Lions. It was only then I discovered something most intriguing. An underlying struggle with an unknown force. A force with the power to bring about calamitous ruin. Horrorsight! The twisted abominations we encounter both Lasali and Gao. The Ukabi. They are born of these unholy crystals. While nobles of the north and south squabble over Ivalice's crown, Ramza silently sought to rid the world of a darker evil. Evil manifests from the deepest desires of men and women whose minds have fallen prey to the Horrorsight. And with each confrontation did Ramza's fellowship grow smaller. Countless companions lost to a cause that would go unwritten, yet was far more important than any clash of armies. And so did they endure until reaching their final destination, the Orebone Monastery. Oh, I know this one! The Orebone Monastery is where Princess Obelia was raised! There's a scene about it in the Zodiac Brave story. After Delea emerged victorious in his final campaign, he married the princess to legitimize his claim to the throne of Ivalice. I see someone has been paying attention. I don't understand. Why would Ramza's crusade against the Lucavi take him back there? According to the Durai papers, the sinister being who engendered the Horrorsight was said to have slumbered beneath the monastery. But who or what would have the means to create something so powerful? Ultima, the High Seraph. A seraph? What's a seraph? Seraphs are believed by some to be the servants of the gods, divine beings whose only purpose is to carry out the will of their immortal masters. As to whether or not Ultima can claim this title, however, I cannot say. Just as there were those who chose to worship Ultima in her otherworldly might, there were equally as many who feared the visitor and her deadly magics, often referring to her as the Angel of Blood for the carnage left in her wake. Interesting. But the spell Arya claims to have experienced in the Praetorium, coincidentally also called Ultima, was in fact an elegant interpretation of the very magics introduced to Heidelin by the High Seraph. But that would mean... what would that mean? I've spoken with several colleagues back in Charlium regarding their opinions on the ancient incantation, and while they yet have little to show for their research, they all agree on one thing. The manner in which ultimate ethereal manifest should not be possible, at least on Hydaelyn. So it would naturally make sense if we discovered that the Alligans learned the spell from a being not of this dimensional plane. As to exactly how they convinced the being to impart the knowledge unto them? Not of this plane? What manner and creature are we talking about here? Likely one similar to Omega. How long have you been listening from the shadows, my friend? Long enough. I'm here to deliver the item Mikoto requested. Sid, there was no need for you to deliver it personally. A Moogle would have sufficed. A Moogle? And trust that he would not tear open the package and show it to some random avenger? No, this is far too important. If you two do not mind, the principal was about to tell us how to find the Orbone Monastery. Would that I could. You don't know? Then what have we been doing here? At ease, Lady Milroa. The dry papers speak of a cataract situated on the river Zeychurel, several leagues southeast of Ravenaster. There supposedly lies the monastery. Zeychurel is not a name you will find on any modern Dalmascan map. Rivers, however, especially ones as large as the Zeychurel is established to be, are rare in the nation, more than half claimed by the Sand. The river we seek can only be that which bisects Golmor on the Nongshan border. And for that invaluable information, we owe thanks to our brothers Moogle. Their travels have made them veritable authorities on Dalmascan geography. Wait, but earlier you claimed you didn't know the monastery's whereabouts. I'm confused. This question is not what concerns me, but perhaps the Moogles themselves should explain. Why, certainly! That verdant valley of vines and vipers is where we must voyage next. Is home to the Viera, and therein lies our little problem. The one thing the Viera do not suffer is trespassers, not even lovable Moogles, Kupo! Our glamours kept us hidden long enough to see the jungle was teeming with ruins much like those we discovered in the Lasalian Gap. The Viera's trackers eventually found us and took us before their elders. We barely escaped with our palms, Kupo! So that is why we're still here talking instead of bound for the border. There are Viera who have spurned the strict code of their tribe, abandoning their people to come and live in the cities of Damascus. Finding and recruiting one to our cause might provide us with insight into how to reach the Orbone Monastery ruins. Unfortunately, the nation's current turmoil has not made it easy to accomplish this task. We still require more time. Before boarding the shuttle here, I was stopped by a Bonga at the docks. He asked me if I knew Ariana and bid I deliver her a message. I told him he was welcome to accompany me to the Prima Vista so he might deliver that message himself, but the man refused. Mikoto, I saw this device crafted to your exact specifications, but cannot guarantee that it will function as intended, seeing as I had nary a subject to test it on. Of course, Master Sid. If any trouble is met, then most likely it is my design that is to blame. Your confidence in my craftsmanship is flattering, but you sell yourself too short, my dear. Here's to your success. Good day. Why is there a... Oh, making bacon bread. I'm good. I sense that you are interested in the package Sid delivered. I have every intention to apprise you of its contents, but first I believe we should speak to Alma's condition. Did you not find her illness all too timely? Genoas and Ramza would like to believe that her bouts of vertigo are not but the result of mind fatigue, but the answer is clear. It is the aura sight that plagues her. Alma recently confided in me that she would hear her father speaking with the Odious, long before even his first foray into Rabanastre. However, I do not think this is entirely true. Which is not to imply that Alma is trying to deceive us. Rather, I think she saw something that led her to believe her father was conversing with the Auracite. Moreover, I suspect it was the Auracite itself that granted her this vision. You recall my hypothesis on these distinct frequency NRR type harmonic vibrations and their tendency to promote ethereal amplification? Or when I mentioned that despite being in the principal's possession for an extended period, the Odious exhibited none of the imprinting present in the Duma? No? The Odious has never resonated with Genomas. It has always been his wife's pendant and its Auracite shard, the Virgo, that fueled his passion for Ivalice. No, the Odious has bound to Alma's deepest desires, whatever those may be. The only reason I can fathom that Alma has not fallen victim to the Auracite's grasp is that her desires are not as strong as those we have witnessed in Argoth or Begamnon. That and the ethereal interference caused by other nearby shards. I have explained all of this to Alma and recommended that she destroy the necklace. Yet, not only did she refuse, she begged me to keep this revelation from her father. And so I did the only thing I could. I devised a means with which I might impede or at least lessen the effects of the Odious. This device, while still incomplete, will amplify the NRR wavelengths emitted by the Virgo. This should work to interfere with those emitted by the Odious, thereby shielding Alma from the brunt of their effects. The city below is all abuzz with word of a Bongan brigand loitering about the airship landing. Do you think it could be someone we know, Kubo? What? Hello? Apologies, Arya, but I need to speak with you, and you alone. Oh, don't mind me, Kubo. I'll just be floating over here in perfect earshot. What makes you think I won't lay you low right here, right now? Because we're here to offer you a proposition, that's what. We need information on the Golmore jungle and the man as well-traveled as you might be persuaded to provide some. Golmore, you of all creatures to know that is Fiera land. What are you offering then? Why, the opportunity to tell us what you know. Genomas believes our next adventure lies beneath the jungle canopy, Kubo. I should have expected as much. Very well, Arya, I came to ask if you would meet someone. Now it seems that someone may be able to assist Genomas as well. Seeing as you and the principal did right by us before, I don't see a reason why I cannot take both of you. Let me know when you are ready to depart for Rabanastre. We will travel in our airship. The Prima Vista would draw too much unwanted attention. To a life of brigandry in the clouds, are we? Of course not. Not that it didn't cross our minds, but when faced with the decision of what to do next, we needed simply to remember the dying words of our leader. Gijik, Renok, and I decided to re-enlist as Dalmascan Fusiliers. And the occupying Guardians actually said yes, Kupo. No, not exactly. We're now with the Resistance. no doubt heard of the uprising in Dalmasca that followed the Doman liberation, and how it was crushed under the iron heel of the 4th Legion. The resistance leaders were captured, tortured, and publicly executed, yet much to the Empire's chagrin, the gruesome display only served to further rally the survivors. Remove 1 head and 2 grow back in its place. Remove 2 and then there are 4. A person can die, but an ideal will live on. Now there exist several factions throughout Dalmasca. We belong to one known as Lente's Tears. And when we told our commanding officer of our recent crossing with you and yours, she simply insisted that we introduce you. Me? I wasn't even supposed to be here, Kupo! You hear about her! Meet with the general and hear her proposal, Arya. If you are not interested, we shall return you to Kugani unharmed. You have our... Carl got your tongue? Grab an ostrich dead ahead, lads. This way, we've many miles to cover before nightfall. I've done as asked. I bring you the Liberator. And here I thought she'd be taller. Excuse-moi! I knew it! Aviera! I am Fran, proud daughter of Dalmasca and General of Lente's Tears. And yes, Moogle, I am Aviera. Are you surprised? Well, yes, in fact, I am. Her kind are all supposed to be living amongst the trees, having shunned contact with the outer world. Kabow! There are supposedly a few who have left their homes, but I most certainly did not expect to see one here in the sewer. Indeed. This bonga claims you seek our bone. Does he speak true? Those ruins lie deep within the Golmore jungle, a place most sacred to my sisters. It would take great offense were you to defile it with your presence. What is more, Bwaki tells me you travel with Garleans, openly aiding those who would see our nation burn. How can we place our trust in one who would do such? My blade has tasted the love of too many Garleans account. By my blade, I mean my fist. Ow. And then you know the Empire and its people are one and the same. When you slay an Imperial soldier, you are not slaying an individual, you're slaying the enemy. Your companions, Liberator, are the enemy, despite their supposed change of heart. You must understand, Kanji Nomos does not approve of the Emperor's warmongering. He wants to help Dalmasca and its impoverished masses, Kupo. And what would the Moogle know about my people? Does your blood run Dalmascan red? We could cut you open and find out. General, there is no need for threats. You are right, Bwagi. Less than parley. Parley? Parley. First, resistance requires men and women from the Eorzean Eastern Alliances to join us in ridding Dalmasca of its Imperial invaders. Your past deeds have made you well known to the leaders of both. They will listen to you, or if not, they will listen to these scions to which you claim allegiance. Second, the resistance requires gold. Gold to strengthen our forces from within. Your allies are in bed with the East Aldernar Training Company, which continues its dealings with Garlemald even as you raise your sword against them, profiting from the Empire's rampant aggression. As targets of that aggression, I believe my people are entitled to a portion of those profits. Grant me these simple things, and I shall personally guide you safely to the ruins of Rabone. And what are the Lexan tales? See me the victory, and I'll take the Emperor himself. Those are my conditions. What say you? I'll deliver your request to the Scions, but can promise no more. Tell them my demands, but know that the fate of your expedition hangs on how well you do so. I'd say we have our work cut out for us, Kubo. Bluggy, you and the Faciliers are to accompany the Liberator. I expect a detailed report on how many demands are received. Or how my... Yes, General. Not that I expect them to be taken seriously. You are a fool to trust them, Princess. Unlock? Someday? I will pet Alpha until you appear. See, I went to go pet Alpha and you appeared. What an adventure, Kubo! Just think by tomorrow we could all be the newest members of the Dalmascan Resistance. Not that I'm ready to give up my place on the Prima Vista just yet. Welcome to their jungle. Hurry, hurry! I'm off to some of our adventure quick! I'll positively burst, Kubo! This woman asks much of us. The Vira have ever been wary of outsiders. For centuries, their many tribes have remained hidden in the jungles, content with their self-imposed solitude. Each tribe has its own strict code and will met swift punishment to any who would defy these laws. As such, many a Vira will spend her entire life bound to the territory of her ancestors, both unwilling and unable to venture beyond its borders. And while the tribes are wholly independent, they have agreed to uphold a single standard: shall not contact with the outside world unless it is to protect the jungle. That said, with every generation there are those Vira who long for a life beyond the verdant sea of trees and abandon their tribes to start a new life in the kingdom's cities. My guess is that this Fran is one such individual. Who also happens to be the only individual we know who can guide us to the monastery, Kubo. Seems Arya's sword arm won't be enough to see us through this predicament. She needed to don the right mantle of a diplomat if we're to convince the alliances and the East Aldernar Train Company to grant us aid. What could go wrong? Please, no more politics! Yes, I know you said not to call unless it was urgent, but this is urgent! Alright, not exactly, but my superiors have come to a decision on your request, and I thought you might want to hear what they had to say. Oh, and let me preempt any request for immediate disclosure with a reminder that this information is much too sensitive to discuss over link pearl. Meet me at the Ruby Bazaar post haste, and I shall duly apprise you of their judgment. Well, and Arya, what are we waiting for? I've read about how you united the whole of Eorzea under a single standard and convinced the Holy See to end a 1,000-year conflict. Compared to that, asking for a few soldiers and a call for a 3 of gil should be a piece of roll and berry cake. I suppose we should inform Bloggy down at Kugane Landing of our progress. You mentioned he was to keep an eye on us. So you have an answer from the East Eldernar already. Impressive. It would seem the Lady Fran has underestimated your influence among the realm's players. I assume you have no objections to me joining you then. Hancock awaits us in the bazaar, shall we, Arya? A lovely lady and a manga? And here is expecting you will be alone, Arya. But excuse my manners. I am Hancock, representative of the East Eldernar Training Company assigned to oversee her assets here in Kugane. It was a pleasure to meet you. And I am Yugiri. We apologize for making you come all this way. Not that it is far from the landing to ahem. Bloggy, was it? I serve Lord Hien, rightful ruler of Doma. I've come bearing our nation's reply to your entreaty. And I'm Satoru Taro of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I'm only here seeing as no one else could be bothered. Or, you know, they kinda don't have a soul right now. Well, that and to bear a message from the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance. Thank you both for coming. I am Bloggy, formerly the Dalmascan Royal Fusiliers. I now claim allegiance to Lente's Tears, a resistance group seeking to accomplish what you have in Doma and Alamigo. What tidings have you brought us? Allow me to begin then. While the East Eldernar Training Company sympathizes with your plight, we are not in a position to grant you the funding you seek. As you are aware, the East Eldernar Training Company prides itself in its neutrality, and be it matters political or personal. And whatever relationship with the Eorzean Alliance, yes, what I meant to say here was here in Hingashi. The East Eldernar Training Company prides itself in its neutrality, be it matters political and, You must understand their position. Simply supplying coins to any one group would make it appear that we somehow favor that group over another. Seeing as we conduct business openly and fairly with everyone, doing such would be sending the wrong message and ultimately harm profits. Yes. And by selling to both sides, you maximize profits while good men and women perish. How convenient. We are a business, my lady. We do what we must to survive. That does not mean, however, we are blind to the needs of our customers or our allies, which is why we support the Eorzean Alliance in their noble efforts to safeguard their realm's freedom through a mutually beneficial arrangement. If it were my choice, I would provide your little resistance with all the funding it needs, but as my good friend Arya knows all too well, it is not my choice. Well, now Hancock products thoroughly lowered your spirits, you won't be as crestfallen when I inform you the Eorzean Alliance will also be unable to provide any assistance. And let me guess, you did everything in your power to try and convince the leaders of each city-state, only to watch as they politely declined their proposal, claiming an unfortunate lack of intelligence or resources. Oh, how did you? Lord Heian sends his greetings to you and yours. Having recently found strength through a newly formed alliance with our neighboring nations, Doma is open to further welcoming like-minded organizations. This includes our Dalmascan brothers and sisters still suffering under the Imperial yoke. However, word has it that the last attempt at reclaiming your kingdom ended in failure, resulting in the loss of countless lives, including many of the Resistance's leaders. You are not mistaken. Our army is not what it once was. Those remaining have been forced to take refuge deep beneath the streets of Rabanastre. The 4th Legion has already defeated you once. Lacking unity and leadership, the current resistance will not survive another tilt against the Empire's disciplined ranks. If Doma is to join hands with Damascus as an ally, you must first prove to us that you will stand as one. Doma as a full-fledged ally would serve far better to strengthen our cause than a few temporary soldiers. Yet even if we were able to wrest Damascus from the Empire's grasp without unity among your people, resulting chaos could prove even more perilous to the kingdom. You understand much of our situation. And based on that understanding, you would refuse your aid to Lente's tears, am I correct? Do not mistake me. Lord Heian's refusal is but a message to help you plan your next step. You have a wise master. He understands that without proper planning, driving one enemy from your midst simply creates room for the next. Lady Fran will no doubt be pleased to hear that your response was exactly what she expected. You knew this whole time that your demands would be rejected, yet you still let this farce play out? You would have... My apologies, but this was all necessary to prove an important point to our leader. Lady Fran needed to show the princess just exactly what she was getting herself into, and your honesty today will serve us better than any hollow promise. Thank you. Wait, what about the Golmar jungle? Can you believe this? We're right back to where we started. Principal Genomus will not be pleased. If it is, as you say, it is most unfortunate, but I suppose we did everything in our power, and that is all one could ask. I still don't understand. Why would Lady Fran send Arya on this wild Paisa chase if she knew from the start it would be for naught? Well, you mentioned something about Fran proving a point to their leader, whomever that may be. People in positions of power can prove both naive and stubborn creatures. Simply telling a leader she is wrong may not convince her of the fact. Seeing one's own plan fail, however, is oft the best medicine. Naive and stubborn? Then the resistance is doomed! If a person is imposing as Fran is taking orders from her, then chances are this leader is even worse, Scupo! I would not be so certain, Mont Blanc. I guess is that the individual in question is still quite young and inexperienced, and the Lady Fran is trying to teach her to be an effective leader through example. By allowing her to make her own mistakes, Fran is granting her the ability to learn and grow from them, an experience that will ultimately benefit her when the time comes and make some truly difficult decisions. Now, I seem to recall reading that one of the many faces of resistance before the recent quelling was a young girl of royal blood. Do you suppose? You may cease with your baseless presumptions, defector. The door was open. And you would be... I would be here on orders from the leader of Lente's tiers, against my better judgment, mind you. Greetings, Lady Fran, I presume. I am Genoa's son, Sen Luxentale, principal of the Majestic Theater Company. Your colleagues are most welcome on the Prima Vista. What is it your leader would have us do? Would have of us? Well, you failed in meeting even a single of our demands. She recognizes that you were sincere in your attempts to see them fulfilled, and for that effort, you are to be compensated. That is most generous. The ruins which you seek are hidden behind the waterfall here, a point roughly equidistant from the river's source and its delta. You have our thanks, Lady Fran. We will not forget this kindness. Father, I shall plow the course immediately. Ramza, what is going on here? Alma, you should be in bed. I've slept enough, brother. Tell me, who are our guests? It appears you once again prepare a leap into danger's maw. Keep your wits about you, Arya. Lady Fran is strong, but then again, so is Bagamnon. If you'll excuse me. Are you mad? A trip to the surface in your condition? Listen to me, brother. The High Seraph beckons. She speaks to me through the Orpheus. The what? There's no need to worry. Mikoto and I have already devised a plan. I can help clear our family's name. The Charlatan has no say in this. I am your father, and I insist you remain here on the airship. What would your mother say if I allowed aught to befall you? Mother? That's what this is all about, isn't it? What is it? What it has always been about. You care not about Ivalice or the Aura name. No, you only seek to use the Aura site to bring Mother back. But you haven't been able to do that. You still don't understand how exactly it is that the shards translate one's desires into reality. That is where I can help. I'm going to ask the High Seraph. It is she who created the Aura site. Ultima has bid me come to her place of imprisonment. If we free her, she will reveal unto us the secrets of her creations. Do you hear what you're saying, Alma? Even if there was the slightest chance of bringing Mother back, we cannot risk your life in doing so. Your brother is right. We have sacrificed too much already. Not bear the thought of losing you. Either of you. It is too late. I'm so lonely, Father. Why must you love Brahms more than you do me? Do not be cozened by your daughter's words, for they are not her own. I guess it was kind of voice, wasn't it? shards for Fend. I told you, no one can control the power within those shards. No one. Arya, here, take this. It might be the only thing that can save Alma. We must hurry to the monastery. Come, we leave for the Golmore jungle. Now. Oh, mouse. Hi, there you are. Have I your permission to depart, Arya? Every moment we tarry here, my sister, she... Of course, Ramza. And hold on! I've set engines to full speed! Welcome to the land of my people. It would be a poor lie if I said I did not miss this home. Alma! Ramza, help me. Alma! Be gone! Alma! Ramza! Blood of the invokers, fulfill the ancient covenant and grant unto me the vessel promised. What just... Walking to me, the girl is not well. Might I suggest we continue back on the Prima Vista Cupa? Have you the courage to face true evil? What you got me at? The ship is this way, Kumo! Now Ramza is gone? Oh dearest Tia, what have I done? What have I done? The city of lost angels. We need to do something, but what recourse is left to us? The only means we have of protecting ourselves could not even prevent my son from... I'm sorry, Genomus. My design was flawed. Not necessarily, Charlian. We all saw how he succeeded in drawing Alma back from the rift and shattering the Odious. The loss of the boys is not yours to bear. Our focus here should not be on our failures, but what we have learned from them. The rift beyond the rift, it spoke before claiming Ramza. It referred to you as the blood of its invokers. Could it be your ancestors that are responsible for Ultima's summoning? Most certainly not. I discovered no such inference anywhere in the derived papers. Besides, tales of the High Seraph existed far before even the earliest of Evolution legends. Then who exactly did summon Ultima, and why did she think them your kin? Look! I have a bad feeling about this, Gobo. Ramza dead? You lie about as well as you carry yourself in battle, Orin. I did not say he was dead, my Lord Delia. Merely he abandoned his mortal vessel, entrusting his ethereal soul to the Aurosite. But why would he do such a thing? Peace has finally come over Ivalice. There is not to be had from further sacrifice. The kingdom is won, and this victory is as much his as it is mine. He risked life and limb to shield me from that dark that would have seen me perish. Without him, I would not be standing here before you. It is my duty as both king and colleague to see him saved. Knights to me! We ride for Urbone. My lord, wait! Ajora Glabados, the first of the Zodiac race, was not the hero the church would have you believe. He betrayed Mother Hydaelyn for the promise of coin and power, summoning forth a terrible evil from the depths of the celestial abyss. It was believed only one of the lands chosen, only a warrior of light, might stand against this threat. Yet while victorious in battle, Ramza was unable to see the darkness vanquish. If failure was all that the way of our warrior of light, then what chance do you presume any others might stand? Are you saying I should do nothing then? No, my lord, Ramza is. My brother's final wish before he surrendered to the Aether was that his name be struck from the annals of history. Alma, you're unhurt. I was led to believe none but Orin returned from Orbone. What is this you speak of your brother's wishes? When it became apparent that we were powerless to truly defeat the High Seraph, we chose the only path left to us, to do what Hydaelyn herself did countless centuries past, imprison Ultima. And as you are aware, my lord, a prison is only as strong as the seal on its gates. Ramza sacrificed his body to ensure that the Angel of Blood would never again walk the land. You believe that if people knew the sacrifice, it would only inspire them to seek out the Holy Stones and repeat the mistakes of those come before. If you truly avouch yourself his friend, then you will honor this, his final plea. No! Ramza should not be forgotten. Should be raised up as a hero for his deeds and claim his rightful place at my side. Only he might be my knight gallant. He is gone, my lord. Before Ramza was your friend, before he was my brother, he was a warrior of light. He did what he did for Hydaelyn, and those who would one day, too, heed the crystal's call. Claim the throne, my friend. Become ruler of Ivalice and restore peace to this war-torn realm once and for all. Wait, Ramza! Don't leave me! Please, I beg of you! You will make a fine and just king, Delita. See, you do not stray from that path. Ramza! The stones in these two necklaces, you are certain they will guide the heroes of a new era to Ramza? 'Tis what Ramza wished, my lord. Orin, I do not believe I can bear another farewell this day. Will you not reconsider my offer to remain as a member of my court? 'Tis but a matter of time before the Cardinal and his Temple Knights grow wise to my past. I would not have my presence here implicate you as well. Ramza beseech me strike his name from history, but like you, my lord, I cannot bear the thought of future generations blind to the truth. As such, I pen this chronicle of the heroes' journeys. I fear the world, however, is not yet ready for the gospel contained within these pages, nor would the church ever allow its circulation. In fact, I believe they will confiscate every existing copy and lock them away in their library. And what better way for the words to remain forever preserved than in one of the most highly guarded vaults in all the realm? Then, one day, when the church has fallen out of favor, the chronicle will be discovered and the truth shall prevail. I must admit, your plan is intriguing, Orin, but once the church learns it was you who penned the chronicle, your life... Arya! It was the echo, wasn't it? The removal of Ramza's name from the history books, the derived papers, the pendants, it was all set in motion by Orin himself. And if the Liberator's visions are to be taken as fact, it also appears we now know what the High Seraph meant by blood of my invoker. She was not speaking of ancestors in the sense of actual kin, but the line of those chosen by Hydaelyn to serve as her warriors of light. But then why abduct Ramza, or even Alma, unless there's something you haven't been telling us? She was using us to lure Arya. It is her vessel the High Seraph desires. Matron's teeth? How long have you been awake? I've been a fool. I told her earlier that it did not matter if our request for aid was refused, for I had an alternative ploy. General! It is all right, Bwagi. My intention was to claim one of the Zora site in the name of the Resistance and use this power to waylay to the Garlean occupants. Only now do I realize how flawed my ambitions were. You mean this entire time you were playing us for fools? Why didn't we see it earlier? Never trust a woman with ears longer than mine, I always say. You have every right to be angry, and I apologize for misleading you. But believe me, I no longer have any desire to deceive you and yours. I shall see you to the Orbone Monastery and ask not in return, but that you let me join you in your rescue of Ramza. Do not misunderstand me. I do not wish to do this for any one of you. I do it for my people in both Gilmore and Ravenaster. Many who may die if the High Seraph is allowed to return to power. The Orbone Monastery is now accessible. Oh, yay. I remember those cutscenes being about 30 minutes shorter. So, anyways, I think next time we'll take on Orbone. I'm dreading this, actually. Yeah, we'll talk more about that when we get to Orbone. So, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing. If you really enjoy it, consider supporting the channel. All support really helps for keeping content like this and more. You can find the links for that in the description, along with links to me on social media. So thank you again for watching, and until next time, this is rinimt signing out. Oh my gosh, what the heck are these for? Inquiry protocol. Oh, okay. Okay.